Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. What's up, guys?
New Year. Yes, sir.
What's up? We got 3 more days. Friday?
Yeah.
Friday's New Year?
Yeah, Friday's New Year.
Friday's New Year. Happy belated birthday was
Yes.
Friday.
Friday on Christmas.
You're all grown
you're a
up.
Christmas
Yeah,
baby.
Christmas.
Oh, man.
Oh my God.
I really didn't think, I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
That's why I said Friday. I wanted to see.
That
like,
is
be
awesome.
Like, what was
No,
Friday?
no.
Christmas.
See, what you don't understand is that we practically live here, so all the days are just blurred.
Yeah,
you know.
it's totally blurred for me right now.
Yeah,
Seriously,
man,
I didn't
yeah.
even know it was Monday today. I was like,
It took me so. I had to keep asking my wife, like, what day is it? Is it Monday or Tuesday? When do I go over there?
That
I better
is
check
funny.
the text message.
That is funny.
I
So
guess the
for
same
you
thing.
guys at home, we have a special guest today, Albert Tapia from 10th Planet, Orange County, which is soon to be embarking on his own adventure, opening
Yes.
his own school up in Sacramento. And we're here breaking the news and wishing you a good and blessed trip, man. You're going to do fantastic.
No, thank you. I'm excited.
yeah, it's a
something I've been
journey,
looking
man.
forward
That's
So,
awesome.
Put your hands together for Albert Tapia.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. And like I said, happy birthday. Thank you for squeezing us in your schedule. I know you have a lot going on, from moving to Sacramento to tying up loose ends over here, submissions on the shore. You are the guy behind that. There's a lot of moving parts to all the stuff that you do. So thank you for squeezing us
This
in.
is something I want to do. I love doing these. I mean, just to get to talk, about submissions on the shore.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
I'm super stoked because I've heard of submissions on the shore. So anybody who's been around any kind of like people who grapple, and then you hear all these tournaments and you definitely hear about the local ones. HB, Orange County, we're like a stomping ground.
It's a hotbed.
Yeah, it's a hotbed for
martial arts.
Jiu-Jitsu and martial arts,
Yes.
And so you hear about different places. And I heard the first one I heard about, a friend of mine, Casey, was going to, I think he might have even grappled in it, was at the Queen Mary.
Yes, it was. That's what I was going to ask you. So let me ask you, what did you hear about it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was on the Queen Mary.
How did you pull that off?
So
You know what?
Yeah.
Before we get into that, people at home, what is submissions on the shore?
Submissions on the Shore is an all-female professional grappling show. Our pro shows are all women. I have recently added something new. We have a tournament series, like smaller events, where we have women and men. But our main shows are all women.
Nice.
And that's what we put on.
Very cool, very cool. So going back to this event on the Queen Mary, I mean, it's so appropriate, right? A women's tournament, professional tournament on the Queen Mary.
So, again, I was looking for like a spot to where I could throw it and really make like just a big entrance, right?
Yeah.
And I looked around, I was shopping around, and then I thought, all women, Queen Mary, like that just fits, like just that name in general. And then how many people have grappled on a boat or even fought on the boat?
That's
MMA, right? I fought at the Queen Mary, but not on the boat. We fought in the parking lot.
Yeah, they always have like fighting events, boxing
Yes.
events, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
there.
so like that was like something I went to, and like it was a little pricey, but I was like, you know what, like this is gonna be
special.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, who's going to forget that? Like, if you were part of that event, whether setting up or spearheading it or just being in the tournament, I mean, that's got to be an amazing experience.
Oh, it was just the fact the competitors that we had on there was just insane. Like we had 40 matches that night,
Yeah.
and one winner, 14-year-old, walked away with 2,500. So like,
That's so cool, man.
14-year-old.
yeah,
14-year-old, yeah.
14-year-old man.
You had said this before, Gary. You said the level of like technique is like through the roof now, and these kids get started earlier and earlier. I mean, we started as adults.
Yeah. I mean, I got thrown into boxing out of like fight for my life because all my family were into boxing, and my godfather ran the Westminster Boxing Gym, and it was like you're gonna learn to fight. And I was just like, It wasn't until I got to like high school that I was like, oh yeah, I want to do this. But kids now are starting like, okay, Taekwondo, you can go to BJJ, you can go do Krav Maga, you can go anything and everything. And what makes it wonderful is being enlightened to the point where you just love martial arts, and now we've become like this big martial arts community.
Yeah, really absolutely. Cool. And I actually mentioned this to you. The reason why we named our group the Black Belt Collective, it was because we had that in mind. Mm-hmm. Like doing this, what we're doing now, we're sharing information with people that are experts at something else
in their field, yes,
right? You know, and there's no issue with that. It's great to share information, and it's for me personally, it's like it's so like alive. It's so sexy for me to like be able to like peek into your guys' brain, because like I know what I know, you know, like I know what our group is an expert at. But there's so many other things that you can learn, you know, and it's exciting to me, you know.
And that's huge with like mixed martial arts, and I think that's what's really connected all the other forms of martial arts. Like, hey, let me go learn from them. Let me go learn from them.
Yeah.
Right. And it's this crazy thing. Like we think as an MMA community that's more mainstream, and to us it is, but like there's still a lot of room for growth. Like it's still.
It's like preteens right now. That's what it is.
Seriously,
it is. You know, I was just telling them before we sat down, was when I was growing up, like martial arts wasn't a big thing. It wasn't like if you wanted to do it, it was like a specialty type thing, and it cost some money. And you know, my parents were like, no, you can go do something else.
Like where I come from, if like for you to do martial arts, it was either going to be like at the city where someone's donating their time, or at a place that's just too expensive. Like we couldn't afford that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The way things are now, and the way like just we live in this like upside down world. It's a necessity now. It's like riding a bike and learning how to swim. Mm-hmm. You need to know, or your kids need to know, as an adult, you need to know how to defend yourself, at least the very basics of defending yourself, right? I believe you work with, did you work with kids at?
Yes.
You did, right? I remember seeing you there.
Yeah, I taught our kids program at Costa Mesa for the past year. I worked at UFC gym. I taught kids there for a while as well.
Very cool.
Like teaching kids isn't new to me. I coached wrestling. Out in Texas, coach kids.
You know what? And you'd be surprised how many schools neglect the whole kid program. And for us, I mean, we have a huge kid program and we love it. And to be quite honest, they're some of the most hardcore, like even through all these closures and like weird guidelines we go through and all that, that particular program itself has been so tight knit. They've been like supporting us through it. I mean, we really planted some seeds a long time ago where this whole program is like backing us even through all these crazy times. You know what I mean?
And I especially like I've visited a variety of schools just because of what I get to do. Like when I'm putting other ladies on our shows, I go and visit other schools because I'll either go drop off some material or like, you know, marketing material, or just like go meet. I'm
going to go point this.
Yes. Oh, there we go. And just to see like kids programs at other schools, I'm like, you know, like those kids programs, I think like definitely a necessity to a school.
Absolutely.
It's going to help grow.
Oh, yeah.
Like adults tend to move.
Yeah. Well, that's not only growing the school. Well, yes, this is a very important aspect of it. And like I said, I'm really surprised that so many schools kind of look the other way. You know, they just want to work with adults. And that's all fun and great and all. But in growing your school, right, but also in making a difference in your community, if you want to make a difference in your community, it has to be with the youth.
I think you're 100% right on both ends right there, but I think why it's so hard is because I don't think everybody can coach kids.
It's not easy to teach kids.
It's not easy to teach, because not only are you teaching the kids, but you're dealing with then the parents and whatever. So I think that's part of it. It's a niche thing. You got to be good at teaching kids. You got to be personable. You got to be likable. You got to be disciplined. You got to be.
Well, we always say like, so we have a training program where we teach our instructors and we continue to train them, right, in how to teach. There's a difference between, technique on the mat and then using that technique but teaching it to someone else. There's other aspects of it. You have to learn. It's a whole different animal.
How to communicate.
Exactly. And something that we always talk about is that you have two audiences, right? So the people you're teaching on the mat, so the kids. But the other audience, right, that's always watching, listening, are the parents. So when you teach, you're not only teaching the kids, you're allowing the parents a window into why we're teaching that. So while you're teaching the kids, the explanation has to be well enough for the kids to capture it, but it has to also reach the parents so that they understand what their kids are learning. Because they might see something and thinks it's all punch and kicks.
Yeah.
But we know that they learn way more than punch and kicks, right? Or takedowns or finishes, or, they're learning things that are building blocks to character, building blocks to a better life in the future, because whatever they learn on the mat, right? We say this all the time. They should be able to apply off the mat, right? In their personal lives, school, work, etc.
So, Albert, one of the things we do in here is we touch back on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so you said you grew up in Texas.
I coached out. I didn't grow up in Texas.
Okay, where'd you grow up at?
Sacramento.
Sacramento,
So where I'm
okay.
moving back is where I grew
Oh, so you're
up.
taking it back to the roots.
Yeah, I'm going back home.
Nice, good
I've
for
been
you.
gone for quite a while. I was out in Texas wrestling, coaching, and then came to SoCal.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I've been on the move.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. Hey, you know what? World traveler, man. That's
What
the best way to learn.
What made you leave Sacramento? Wrestling. How old were you then?
21. So I had wrestled in junior college out there in Sacramento City College, and kind of just was living the party life at one point and got into some trouble. I was like, all right, I need to change things around. Like, something needs to happen. I'm going down the wrong road. Nothing like crazy, but not productive.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to do something. So went back to junior college to get my credits fixed, and then transferred out to a school in Texas. Got a scholarship to wrestle.
Oh, sweet.
Wrestled out the first collegiate program in Texas, and then ended up coaching there for a few years. And then I came out to California after on like a spur of the moment. I think it was kind of like a bet, like, oh, you won't do it. I'm like, watch me. just left, sold everything out that I had out there that I gained, and came out here. And came out here for a job that I didn't like, and went back to like the martial arts.
Yeah.
industry
Went back to what you knew.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So I just found my way coming back to that.
What kind of job was it?
I was working with the IT consulting firm.
Oh, so you're just like, no, I don't want to be in an office all day.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
That's why we got new little background here, because he showed us something and we were just like
Yeah,
both
so
dumbfounded.
see, and like I always say this, guys, you guys have heard me say this before. We like to hang out with the young guys, man, because they bring so much knowledge and like new stuff, right? So we have these TVs around the studio, and we never use them in here like this. And he's like, hey, I'm just gonna tap into that and put some of the stuff that we work on, and this is submissions on the shore,
Highlights,
right?
Yep.
Highlights of it, and dude, this is like fantastic. It's awesome, phenomenal.
We get to see this, yeah.
Man.
In fact, now we're probably gonna do this all the time.
Yeah.
So once you guys get like a video,
Yeah.
put it up. Yeah,
We're definitely
the
gonna steal
background.
this.
Yeah, we have one running all the time at the other side of the studio, and it's like our 1 year anniversary pictures of when we were building this and all that, and that one's running the whole time. But yeah, absolutely, this is amazing, So touching back on this, so you left Sacramento, went to Texas on a scholarship, which is pretty awesome.
Definitely
and
helped pay part of my degree.
absolutely. And then, so how long were you in Texas?
I was there for close to 6 years, like 5.5.
So you were there for a good amount of time.
Yeah, small town, like 25,000.
Yeah, that is small.
Plainview, Texas. That's where I started like my fighting
I know
career.
exactly where that's at.
My fighting career.
And when we say fighting career, we're talking about MMA, correct?
I did professional MMA, professional K1,
Really?
professional boxing. I had the opportunity to fight overseas. I fought in Brazil, Russia, Argentina. So
Nice.
So cool,
That
man.
is-
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So, how did you like make that decision? Like, where was the opportunity and to get into your fighting career?
So what it was there was a small gym ran by Tommy Alcazar, Plainview Extreme, and we had one of his fighters on our wrestling team, who Javier Menjadas. His wrestling sucked. So in case he's ever watching this, but
You see,
Hey, that's all right.
he even got close to the mic because he wanted to hear it.
just in case he's watching, I'll have to
that's
show
funny.
him this video. No, but he was an athlete. He took to wrestling. He got really good, but he wanted to work on it, right? Because he wanted to help his MMA career. He's like, hey, will you come in the gym, help me out? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Like, there's nothing else to do in this small town. Like, what else am I gonna do? So I went in there, helped him wrestling. They made me put on the boxing gloves and just kind of like picked on, like, just kept going from there.
So
Like,
you were
hey,
sharing some information and you were receiving some
yes,
information as well.
Exactly.
That's
And
very
The
cool.
bug.
Yeah.
That's
He-
called the bug.
They're like, hey,
right
you want
there,
to
man.
fight? I was like, yeah,
Sure.
I'll try it. Like,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be anything different than like wrestling, And I think that was my problem at first. I treated it as nothing different than like a wrestling match. Like, there wasn't as much build up for me. And then when I found out, like, so I lost my first fight, and like it wasn't like bad or anything, but just I didn't get the nerves that I think I needed to like get ready for it.
Got it.
And then after that, like, okay, I knew what to expect.
That's what it is, right? I mean, you need to figure out, okay, hey, I need to watch out for this and this and this, and then, go back, work on it, and then go back at it, Taking that jump into MMA, that's pretty awesome. I have a little bit of a wrestling background. I was horrible, but I loved it. I was horrible, though. And one thing I always say about wrestlers is I don't ever want to get in a street fight with a wrestler, dude. Because they're tough.
They're so gritty.
And they're gritty. And they will.
So for you guys at home, I was just about to say that. For you guys at home that I've never seen a workout like that a wrestler does, dude, they're just not going to stop.
In fact, when I do train a little bit and I hit the garage and I do all that, I do all my wrestling, working on my, slides and all my single legs and all that stuff. I did watch some of your fights, and dude, he's master of takedowns, dude. There's, all these guys, Matt, when we had Matt in here, that dude rode everybody's back like he was. They were horses.
We were talking about his transitions.
Yeah,
and
his
stuff.
transitions.
His back kicks.
This
Matt
dude
has some
is
nasty back
definitely. He's got the BJJ and all that, but definitely a wrestler.
So
dude,
I had
his
seen him.
takedowns are phenomenal.
I had seen him in a tournament or a couple different places, but the one I remember is the Commerce Casino one. I was there for that one, and dude, you
That was a fun match.
dude, you got down on that one.
Yes.
that was
That was
awesome.
exciting.
That,
That
was
was
fun
like
too. It was a good venue too.
My first one back, I think I had lost one in Reno before that, and I was working on something new, and I was like, okay, I gotta go back to my old game, and that was kind of what you saw. And so it was like, I remember that match. That match was exciting.
Yeah, you walked in. I remember you walked in very confident the whole time. That like, from you walking in to when it started, there was an energy about you, and I was just like, man, like I remember it. I remember it clearly in my head. That was how long ago?
That was July of 2 years ago.
Yeah, maybe 2 years ago. Yep, I remember that, and I remember it very vividly.
I think one of the reasons, Seth Daniels, he runs Fight to Win. One of the reasons I've been on 11 of his shows, right? Even while I'm promoting my shows, to still do his shows. They're awesome. Is I engage with the crowd, so it's not always just about the match. I like to engage.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, you'll see me smiling. I can pull up some photos. Every match, you'll see me smiling during the match, towards the camera.
That's good stuff,
I'm
right
there's
there.
the camera. Hi.
Yeah. You know who always makes me laugh? There's a bunch of pictures of Michael John. Mm-hmm. And he always has that monkey gorilla face,
Michael John, that guy.
It's so funny, dude. Every
He left
time
me out of a group chat when this week, so he's gonna watch this too. But we had scheduled an open mat for my birthday.
Yeah.
And he forgot to put me in the group chat and change the time.
Oh!
So Michael John,
Happy birthday.
Wait a minute. It could have been done on purpose.
could have been.
Yeah.
He probably did.
Yeah. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, though. He's actually a really good guy too. He's out in 10th Planet, Orange County, but he's from the same family, but he's over in Fullerton.
He's at Orange.
Orange? Oh, okay. Orange.
Yeah, he's at
Okay,
Orange.
right on. Orange.
So.
Yeah, shout out to them, man.
So, submissions on the shore. What made you choose literally going after the women's demographic?
I coached women's wrestling in college.
Oh, nice.
So it's the same. They're in the same with same concept. I guess the women's wrestling was growing, but still needed some, to
Help.
be seen.
Yeah.
Needed help, and that was with Jiu-Jitsu. There's tons of professional grappling shows, none with all women, and every men's grappling show has 2 to 4 fights if they're lucky of women on the show. So why not just focus on the women and give them a stage to help grow? And in my opinion, I think I started a spark this year because 3 other major shows have hosted all women's cards this year.
That's brilliant, though.
Right.
I mean, you saw that there was a need for a stage, and you're putting that stage there, and hopefully these really talented women take advantage of it.
And they have. I've gotten some high-level world-ranked girls on my show, ladies on my show, and it's awesome. Especially just the camaraderie of the ladies on the vibes, and it's just insane. It's amazing feeling in there. Especially when I reffed on the Queen Mary, I was reffing one of the matches just to get up there, and just the atmosphere was just crazy.
It was amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? We had our conversation privately prior to us even scheduling this or anything like that. I didn't know that Submissions on the Shore was focused on the women's bouts. But something I told you was, I'm really interested in, like, whenever you do women's bouts to be involved in stuff like that. And you're like, oh, that's interesting you said that. And then that's when I found out that he was focused on putting the stage for the women. Mm-hmm. I have a daughter, and I love that she's able to come into the studio and be surrounded by these other black belt women or women coming up the ranks. There's so much to learn from them, and I like the influence that they have on my daughter. So let alone of something like this that you're doing on Submissions on the Shore, where you're showcasing women's talent, and I just love that. As a father that has a daughter, I mean, I would love for her to be watching that or be part of that.
It's a new generation, dude. Growing up. Okay, so first time I got my butt handed to me.
I was gonna say it.
Yeah, handed to me. Boxing was a girl.
Yeah.
I don't ever bring that
up. Let's talk about this.
And I got my butt handed to me. She was semi-pro. She was coming up in the ranks, and
were you talking smack to her too? This guy talks smack to everybody.
I always talk smack to everybody.
We have fun.
I really don't care.
It's fun.
Whatever. It is what it is, dude. If I get in a fight with somebody.
So this was at your Nino's place?
Yeah,
your godfather's
it was
place?
a long time ago, man. I was probably 14, like you said, and it was a lesson to be learned.
Ooh.
She mopped me up, dude. She was fast, dude. But what I'm saying is a generational thing, because even when I wrestled, we had one girl in the wrestling room, and that was in the 80s, 90s, I'm showing my age here.
Like one woman in the whole league.
Yeah, in the whole league. And they had to wrestle the guys, dude. Yeah. And, some guys wouldn't wrestle. Some guys would be like, no, I ain't going to do it, Gentleman perspective. Or some guys are like,
yeah, they're probably scared to
I'm
get
going
beat.
to smash this girl right here. It was like end of the spectrum. But what happened was you started getting these girls that were being allowed to be themselves. And it just came up in all these different types of forms, and all of a sudden it was like it spawned into I think women's sports is fun to watch, dude, because they're most of the time they're like you just said, they're gritty and they get going and they can do things guys can't.
I don't know if you guys remember. So I watch all kinds of fights, anything that has to do with boxing. Doesn't matter what brand, whether it's UFC, K1, anything, Bellator, anything. I watch everything, anything having to do with fights. I watch. And if you recall, not too long ago, in the UFC, which is one of the largest stages there is, Dana White, the person that runs that company, was asked about women's MMA, and he said, absolutely not. It'll never happen.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it now.
I remember that.
Look at it now.
They said there was no money in it. And the funny thing is it's only going to get bigger. Because,
dude, and these women have tremendous abilities.
Okay, so look at it this way. As black belts, it's such a small community in any martial art, right? To have women...
That's less than 1%. So,
so
in the world's population, if you're a black belt, you're less than 1% of the world's population, which is insane.
Yeah.
Something special.
Yeah. So just think of it that way. It's like these women are pretty special, especially if they're black belts. That means they've been doing it probably
they've been busting their butts too, man.
Yeah. So they've been doing it a long time when it wasn't cool to do it, Right now, you're getting a whole new generation where
it's a little cooler.
Well, it's a little cooler, definitely. Yes. But you're getting the ones that are athletes that were doing softball or doing whatever, and they're starting to go, I want to go try that. Next thing you know, you got a different type of athlete, dude.
Yeah. Not only that, but it's so you're getting this like new mentality, but they're also supported by parents, by friends.
That's what I mean.
Whereas before it was like so obscure, like she's kind of weird, like look what she's doing. But now it's like, dude, hell yeah, go do it. And now they're having that support behind them. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the women black belts. Tatiana, who cuts my hair.
Yeah, Tatiana, what's up? Hermano's Barbershop. Yeah, they get down there, man.
So like speaking about like the women coming up, like we've had multiple women-owned organizations that have opened up with our organization, like whether at a show or sponsored us. Like Mystic Fightwear, one of the hats I'm wearing right now. If you guys can see it on the camera there. She's out of Arizona. Kate,
that's dope.
And she does all like our apparel. and she opened up, and now she's working with like combat Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh,
She
okay.
works with finisher subs. She worked with another local event here, Bullpen out in Arizona. And then we have Homegirls who opened with us. Girls and Geese worked with us on our first event at the Queen Mary. And they're a huge organization. And then we have Jiu-Jitsu BFF who just made their grand opening in December 5th with us. And they're like an app where they're going to bring women together to like find training partners.
Oh, that's dope.
You know?
That's pretty cool.
That's brilliant.
That's actually a brilliant app right there.
So we've been helping not just put on shows, but also like women-owned businesses.
You're not only building a business, you're building a community, and you're building off of a community that you grew from. So so you got into MMA. How did you get into the jiu-jitsu part of it?
I got submitted in a fight and I needed to get better.
That's funny.
Listen,
That's how it usually goes, right?
necessity always brings growth, man. Like it brings ideas, and it brings like it lights a fire under you, right?
It was like my 8th fight. You know, wrestling was anti-jiu-jitsu. You know, my wrestling. Like, let's just learn how to stop.
It was your kryptonite.
Yeah, and then finally, like, somebody submitted me, and I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. And
So you were smart enough to know that, hey, man, there's some holes in the game. I need to tighten that up.
and I was driving an hour and 15 minutes to do jiu-jitsu. So I was in Plainview, and I had to drive to Lubbock. And I would drive there. They had classes like at 6 a.m., so I would drive for like this. I would leave my house like at 4:45.
This is back in Texas?
Yeah, because there was nothing out there. So like it was just like Plainview, Lubbock, hour away. And then I would hang out there, sleep in my car, take the 11 o'clock class, and then drive back for like wrestling. So like,
Damn.
yeah.
A lot of commitment, dude. That's commitment.
Hey,
That's
but you know what? That
discipline
kept him out of
commitment
trouble,
right
though.
there. It did.
Because remember,
keep
he
him
left Sacramento because he was a little shaky on
Well,
that.
you definitely got to have some type of purpose, and when you start figuring out what your purpose is, and you start going, "Oh man, I'm meant to do this."
Hey, but you were smart enough to
It
take
doesn't
the
feel
opportunity. You know, there was an
No,
opportunity.
That is smart.
There was an opportunity in getting that scholarship for wrestling, and then as you're doing that, you're taking care of business, and you have other opportunities to learn, and you're taking them up.
I'll get on my high horse a little bit. Because I coached for years in different sports, and people who are always saying like, oh, people who get college tuition paid for in through some type of means because they're an athlete or anything like that. Those guys can suck it, man. Because most of the guys I know who got any kind of scholarships or any kind of money for what they did as an athlete in college are all moved on to bigger and better things, including my own son. You know, he played
Absolutely.
football and now he's a teacher.
There's
You know,
people that
so it's
complain
like-
about that?
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
There's a lot of people, especially women's side of it. So that's what's kind of unique. That's why I brought that up.
Listen, if you get some help from someone, I don't care what kind of help that is, whatever it is, take it.
And that's
You'd be
one
a
of the
fool
things-
not to.
One of the things, like, especially for the young ladies, like, who are, I see a lot more again in doing wrestling as well. And, like, there's a lot of money for women right now to wrestle, too.
Sure,
So, like,
yeah.
that's just another avenue to get a college degree.
Yeah.
You know, so, like, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
That's what I say. Yeah, it's a big thing. And when you get into college sports, what happens is a lot of these places think that the money should be spent elsewhere, not necessarily in sports or. But there's a necessity because I think there's brains and I think there's warriors. I think brain guys who, like my youngest son, never be a warrior, never touch anything, and but he can outthink you. He can do all kinds of stuff, computer.
You know what I always say is trying to find a balance between it. You know, this is my nerd side coming out, but like in like the Hulk, right? Like right now he's figured it out. He's got the muscle and the brain, right?
Right,
So he's
and
a
that's
Hulk.
what I'm saying.
Dr. Holt.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, there's a balance, and some people need it.
I mean, listen, in martial arts, I mean, you're playing chess the whole time. You're on the mat and you're sparring somebody. If you're not playing chess, you're playing the wrong game. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter whether you're standing up or if you're on the ground doing jiu-jitsu. You're playing chess. If you're playing checkers or anything other than that, then you're not going to do very well. And you got to use your brain. You got to have ability, physical ability. And you do that by sharpening your skills, honing in your skills. But you also have to have that brain behind it, right? To put all of that together.
So, what made you get into like the promoting side of it? What made you? I mean, I see the necessity for good promoters, but What made you go, oh, I want to do that?
So we were in Sacramento. I was on a Fight to Win show, and like I've always had like a hand in putting things together. Like whether like I just ran promotions at like our school, like just putting events together. And like my dad just kept like pushing me like, hey, you need to do one. And I was like, God.
Your pops?
Yeah, I was like, I don't see it. Like this guy already has like a hand on this one. Like there's a couple shows and he has a big hold on it. And like I just kept like thinking and that was back in in June of 2019.
And the thing is that because your community is so tight, you probably don't want to step on toes either. Like out of respect, I'm assuming, you know.
And that's true. Like I reach out to other promoters quite a bit. Now whether I get responses for them or not, that's up to them.
Right.
You know?
No, but you're doing what you're supposed
Well, that's
to.
a
You're reaching out,
promotion
trying to
game, too.
build
It's also
bridges.
like, oh,
Yeah.
man, what is
Yeah,
this
like,
gonna
hey,
call?
like I'm heading out there, like, hey, just in case, like, go from there, right?
Yeah.
And I've asked for help from a few of them, like, dude, like, I'm learning, like, I'm not scared to ask for help, like, I'll make it better, like, I'm learning from you guys if you guys have already done so many shows. But when I saw, again, like I said earlier, all these shows, all men consistently, no women shows.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then finally it just, like, clicked. I'm like, I'm doing a women's show. Like, because I coach women's wrestling, so, like, it took me a while to think about it. Like, I was like, I don't want to just throw an event, just throw an event.
But the fit is right because you're going to understand the way you're building this. You're going to understand what the need is, especially coaching women for so long. There's already a love for that and a respect for that. So it's a genuine thing. You're doing this just on a women's stage because it's going to be natural from your coaching days.
Well, I will tell you this. If you haven't ever coached like women or a woman or a girl or a little girl, it's different than coaching a boy. But not in the sense of like emotions. People think it's like emotional thing. No, women are very specific. And men are very like, hey, just hit me a couple times and I'll learn from that, But women are like, no, what's that right there? They're very detailed.
Analytical, yeah.
I found it easier to teach women than it is men.
That's what I'm saying. They're open to the knowledge. And
That's the biggest thing. They are open to like
Think
receiving.
Think of some of the instructors we have here, right? Some of the women instructors. Stacy comes to mind. McKenna. We have monster women here, and it's like it's actually we've said this before. It's like the women's era, like the last 5 years, like from the people that train with us and stuff. It's been like the women's era, They're locked in. They're honed, and they're So very cool, man. It's exciting.
Going based off that, like my first show was February 27th, probably 26, 20, whatever those days were. And my 1 year anniversary is this February. So
nice.
We're throwing in what I like to think is probably the biggest show for women yet in Jiu-Jitsu. We're doing 16 teams, 3-on-3. So no-gi, 3-on-3.
That's dope. They're so in teams.
In teams. The winner walks away with $5,000. So, and it's at the Moody Gardens Resort in Texas.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool.
So how does that work with teams? So just so you know, I'm kind of new to that. I've never heard of that.
So we held a 5-on-5 in September on 9/11, and we did like a fundraiser for that. It was intense. We had 4 teams, 5-on-5, and it's
is this open to other schools or is it just for your schools? Like
this anybody who wants
anybody.
To sign
Okay,
up
cool. Right on.
Wants to like be a part of this.
Very cool. So any women listening in,
yes,
can reach out and be like, hey, I want to be part of that. Okay,
exactly. So how it works is similar to wrestling in a dual format.
Got it. Okay.
Right, so we start off with a coin flipped, and then you either send out your person first or the other person sends out their.
So you get to match yourself up against whoever you want to go in that other team.
You either send out your person first. So like I'm gonna go. And then you send out whoever you want against me. Or I'm going to make you send somebody out first, and then I send out whoever.
Got it.
Is it open weight, or is it?
It's a 420-pound max between the 3 girls. So, like...
dude.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So when you said duos, I was like, oh, shit, that means that everybody's like...
So it's an average of like 140 pounds. So they could be, as heavy as they want, as light as they want, as long as the 3 of them
fit in that
420 frame. And then if there's a 20-pound difference, like if I'm going with
Yeah.
one of you guys, it'll be a 4-minute match instead of a 6 or 7 or 8.
Got it.
Right. So
Dude, that's so cool. I want to watch that.
I do. I want to see that.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. Actually.
That does sound like
We'll
fun.
be streaming. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
unless
yeah.
you guys want to buy a ticket and go out there and watch
Yeah,
in person.
So let's talk about the streaming stuff. I was actually trying to pick your brain a little bit about that, and we talked a little bit about that. But so the people that don't understand, so right now with like COVID happening, all this stuff, they could still be part of this, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Explain to them at home how that works.
So what we've been doing is right out of COVID, like in June, we held an event and we had absolutely no spectators. It was just the competitor and one coach, and that was it. But like obviously people the competitors wanted to compete. So here's something for you ladies, because everybody's been itching to compete. Like there's nothing going on, right? But people still want to see grappling. There's no sports going on. Like,
Yeah, I want to see grappling.
like nothing was going on. So like why not? So we stream it online, and people can purchase it and watch it and have it to watch for as long as they want. So they still we do like we have commentators, so you get like play by play. I don't know what that is. Sorry, guys. Random video up there. We have commentators that do play by play. We have replays. We have commercials. So
Dude, that's so sick.
We do everything.
I got to check this out. So any of the past ones that I can go back and watch anywhere?
It's on event. Well, we uploaded a few of them on our YouTube channel.
Okay, so I'll check it out
so
there.
If you go to our
What's your YouTube channel? Let them know.
Submissions on the Shore.
Submission on the Shore.
Submissions on the Shore. Running some highlights from actually this is the first event or during COVID. So this is where we just had just the competitors and a coach. We had I would say we had 7 black belts in this tournament.
Oh, that's nice.
Sophia Nordeno, Gabrielle McComb. We had Nikki Sullivan, Heather Rafferty. And these are high-level black belts. Right? We have Erin Hurley. We had Liz Excel. Some locals. And then we had some other competitors who just wanted to come out and compete. Some lower belts. We had a purple belt tournament the day before. It was insane. It was awesome.
I'm really excited about what you're doing, man. It really is. It's cool to hear that people are still innovating when there's a lot of business people out there thinking that the sky is falling. Here you are blooming under the pressure. You're still growing. You're establishing yourself and creating your own niche and carving your own spot, right? I respect that greatly. It's no different than what we had to do for ourselves. So I know that there's growing pains with that, right? What are some of the things that you've encountered that you didn't expect, establishing this? And you don't have to mention any names or anything like that. I don't know what you've gone through. I really don't. Yeah. But I am curious for that because as a businessman myself, sometimes you have this vision and there's these major obstacles that happen, and sometimes there's little obstacles, and sometimes you're surprised by what you do go through where you never expected it, right? So I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in obstacles is just not knowing what to expect. We see these events as a spectator, as a competitor. I could do that,
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah, I could do that, and then you do it, and you're like, holy shit, that's a lot. What did I do? What did I get myself into? And it's not necessarily, I would say, anything completely drastic that's hit an obstacle to where I've completely okay, yeah, this isn't for me. But it's more so each event has its own parts that that come at us and make us have to rethink on the fly. And I love telling this story from our first event on the Queen Mary. And she probably hates this, but Courtney, so we went to FedEx to get some liability waivers for the event. And the printer came out, they came out wrong. So we wasted $20. And she was upset. And I was like, hey, it's $20. The amount we spent to be on this show, I'm not worried about 20 bucks.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's at this point, it's...
Yeah, it's nothing. I was like, if something goes wrong, the stage, doesn't work, the mats don't fit, whatever, that the show can't happen, then go ahead, stress out.
And so who's Courtney?
Courtney's my wife.
Oh, okay. So it matters. What Courtney says matters.
So we all have a Courtney in our lives, and Courtney was like thinking the bottom line.
Yeah, exactly. She's probably trying to protect their, their business.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's like,
Which is
Albert, we
understandable.
got kids to feed here. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Exactly. So we get to that night we're at the Queen Mary, and we're setting up, and the mats are too big. They don't fit on the stage. Like we could have rolled them up, and it would just look crappy. And we're like, damn it! Like where are we gonna get other mats? It's 10 o'clock at night. Our show's tomorrow. So I hit up Jason Yusuf out of Irvine, and I had to take my U-Haul, go over there, pick up 50 of his.
You're kidding.
50 of his mats, 50 plus of his mats.
Dude, mats are so heavy.
Right.
I don't think people realize how much manpower it takes.
So like I have rollouts, but like I had to go pick up like the single pieces,
Right. Yeah.
50 of them, drive them back. I didn't get back till like 3 a.m. Like and then that was like our first hiccup,
But you know what? It's cool that you, like I said, you built that community where they respect you, they love you enough, where they're like, hey, come on, man, we got you. Come and get this.
So
Yeah, that is huge.
So he saved our first show. Like, 'cause, I mean, we could have edged it would have looked really crappy with the match.
No,
rolled
but
up,
yeah, you want a level of like everything you touch, right? You want it to look a certain way, feel a certain way, right? Especially when you're just taking off. That was your first show. You want to start off with the right foot, right? You want to show that we're here and we're serious about what we're doing. That's cool, man. I totally understand that.
Exactly. And then our last one. So this one worked out. Again, here's another instance where like I kind of see what I see, like the good side of things. I don't necessarily get. And I read this article like wrestlers tend to do this, like or athletes, right? Especially college athletes. They face so much adversity through the sport, like normal, like daily life. Like they're able to handle those type of situations better. And it was 2 days before our event in Spring Valley, and they're like, "Hey, we can't have it inside." We're like,
"What do you mean we can't have it inside?"
What do we do, right? Like,
yeah,
okay, we're gonna have it outside. Like, we'll make it work. But like now, moving from inside to outside, we have to rethink of all our electrical issues, like Wi-Fi, power, like our DJ, like.
Not only that, but I think like like if the sun is, I don't know, like if, you know what I'm saying?
The sun, right? So no, that all plays in part because we had it lined up where the youth were. So we had an all-female youth event, and that was going to go earlier in the afternoon, and the pro event was going to go later in the evening. And then 2 days before, I'm like, hey guys, we're throwing this back-to-back no stop. Starts at 12 o'clock.
Because you're trying to use daylight.
You use daylight, and the reason why I was like, it is going to get hot out there, but it's also going to get really cold out there. Right, so I can't have you guys competing late at night.
Oh, is this the infamous ice on the mat?
Yes, yes, yeah. That's how cold it was. But like,
check this out.
During the day, they're like, "Man, it's hot." I'm like, "Wait till late."
Just wait.
And then like I reffed like one of the last.
Where is this at?
In Spring Valley.
That's
San Diego.
San Diego. Oh, San Diego.
Oh,
okay.
you're up in the elevation a little bit.
Yeah. So like, but at the same time, the event was awesome. It was outside. We had acai. We had tacos. We had like. Our Life CBD doing.
You said to say acai and tacos. I'm in.
Yeah, right. And if you look at the pictures, I could pull some up. They were just the event just looked awesome. Everybody had a good time. It was outside. We weren't inside, and that was like just figuring out how to again change things on like 2 days' notice, right? Like timing and everything.
And that's the thing. You have to be nimble. Like anytime, it doesn't matter what type of business you're in. Any type of business you're running, you have to be nimble enough to be able to move and make changes, right? Because if you're so stuck in, like if you were just like, no, it has to be inside, you would have missed out on this awesome opportunity, right?
And that's what I was telling Corey. I was like, look, people are probably going to love it that it's outside. Like, we've been wanting to throw an event outside.
At the beach, man.
Yes, at the beach, but we wanted to throw it on our terms, not on a unexpected like, 2 days notice.
Yeah, you want to be able to prepare for it.
Prepare for it. So here's some like pictures of the outside event, right? And we're on a stage, so like this is during the day, and then if we get to the night, you'll see the difference in the photos. You can see already, like as it's getting darker.
That looks beautiful though. Look, if you slow down a little bit,
yeah.
Look at that golden trees in the back. I mean, sun shining.
Yeah, it was. We had music out there. People were enjoying it, and so this is during the daylight. As you can see, it gets darker, and I think I'm gonna kind of scroll through here a little bit. So you can see the difference.
Oh, yeah, it's starting to get dark right there. Lights are on now.
And now I think that made just awesome for like photos.
Yeah, no, it does. It changes a lot.
Yeah. So we still had our commentators out there, like, so we just had to do all this on the fly, how we're going to make it work, a lot of extra cables, just a lot of extra moving parts, So, but.
It does look cool, huh? Because it's like darker and then the lights are hidden, like right there.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's pretty cool.
That is cool, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right on.
And that's when it started getting cold on the mats. I don't think the athletes felt it, but when I went up there and I went up there barefoot and like, you're going to need socks, I'll be fine. I go back and like, give me my socks.
Yeah.
I was freezing.
That's so cool. So okay, so submissions on the shore, but it's not only on the shore anymore. Now you're like going to different states. You're going to, areas where it might be high desert. It might be,
So our pro shows.
Is there going to be a little like star next to it, like submission on the store and a little asterisk, like kind of explaining we go everywhere?
So yeah, so our pro shows are by the shore, like.
Got it.
And then our like tournament series, like the little ones, they're just like wherever that fits, like it, just to get people matches. So we have like the tournament series, and we're just looking to get people like active, give them matches, so they still have something to do.
Yeah.
We don't want to restrict it just to our shows, because then like not everybody gets a chance to compete for us. And we still do things. We give the competitors like a shirt from each city that we're in.
That's pretty cool.
City, not shitty. Sorry. Each city that we're in or
Depends
place.
on which city could be shitty. That's all I'm saying.
It could. Yeah, you know what? You're right. It does depend.
So we try to do that.
So I'm going to switch gears a little bit. So Sacramento, you're going to open a school out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How does it work breaking off from this community that, you're still part of them, but I'm sure that there's some mixed feelings about that. You coming out of Orange County, right, kind of making your mark here, going back to Sacramento, where you come from, like how does that work? Like how does that feel for you? How does that feel for the team?
I think it's just like I'm open, like how it feels. Like I'm excited to see where it goes and hope it goes in the right spot.
It's an adventure for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's where I'm more like interested. Like, okay, what's gonna happen? Like, what am I gonna do next? Am I gonna end up throwing more events in more places? Because now, like, just traveling wise, but like I know most of our events are probably still gonna be in Southern California. Like, it's just that's where we're at.
Interesting.
That's where your roots are.
That's where the roots are, and that's where like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's tons of jiu-jitsu in NorCal, but there's a hell of a lot more in SoCal, right?
So there might be an open market for you that's going to pretty much accept you with open arms because you're bringing something from Southern California, which is extremely valuable. You guys have made your mark for sure. When I say you guys, I mean your team over at 10th Planet Orange County, and you're going to be representing over in Sacramento, and I'm thinking that you're gonna probably make some waves out there.
I've had some people already reach out, like Tempe Costa Mesa made a post, and I didn't realize it till like the next day.
Oops.
I just didn't see it until like Courtney shared it. And I was like, oh, I didn't see that.
That's
and
cool.
They
showing you some love.
Yeah, showing me some love and announcing that I'm opening up in Sacramento. And of course, right away I got like a bunch of messages and like, hey, like when you opening, like so. Yeah, people are excited. Like
very cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's a 10th Planet in Oakland, Mike Hillebrand, San Mateo Big Red, Alex Kanders in Walnut Creek, and then Tim in Stockton, but that's about it compared to like SoCal, like so us coming out there is definitely gonna start making like the power.
You're gonna have some things to I could already see some things that you're gonna have to figure out in terms of you have multiple businesses going on at once, and so did I at some point. And it's very difficult to it's kind of like your foot's in one and then the other foot's in the other, and there's decisions that you're gonna have to make for sure.
I'm gonna have to bring on a team, so if anybody's interested in working,
there you go. Hey, right? Say that again so they can hear that
yeah,
loud.
that's important to have a good team behind you.
Have built a good team,
a trusting team.
Yeah, there's a reason why I think that we're the powerhouse that we are in Krav Maga. Is because of our team. There's no way that I could do this stuff by myself. Like, there's no way. Absolutely not. The amount of moving parts, the amount of talent that you need, and the amount of loyalty and support that you need. Like, I need to know these guys. Like, these guys I've been training with the last 10 to 15 years and teaching with them as well for the last 10, 15 years. So there's a lot of just trust built there. There's a lot of, you fight someone, you put gloves on with them, you know this. And you know who they are.
Exactly.
No words are needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we've been through the hell and back again.
Well, you also got to have somebody like me and this guy good friends, close, but we fight all the time. You got to be able to like
You gotta
walk
be able
away
to-
from it and say, hey, I can still trust that
Yeah,
guy.
not only that, but
know?
you should be able to have those hard conversations with your team. And believe me, these guys, if they see me doing something or whatever, hey, right away they pull me aside. Whether it's this guy, AJ, Alex, any of these guys, and that's what you need. You don't need yes men around you. You need a solid team that'll make sure that we all stay on the straight and narrow. What's our goals? Are we meeting our goals? And if we're not, what's going on? Let's have those tough conversations, right? So it's cool that you're saying that you're building a team.
Yeah, and
because
that's
if you
something we talked about.
because if you do build a team, you'll be able to do all the businesses that you love.
One of the cool things is Abel's introduced me to all these 10 Planet guys, man. I gotta get back on the mat and grapple. I gotta get back in shape because I want to go.
By the
hang
way,
out
for a
with
while,
those
and I
guys.
told Matt this, and we were cracking up about this. Professor Salinas, we were laughing about this because I'm like, I had been talking about you guys for a long time, and like these guys, after a while, they're like, yeah, right, whatever. Like, I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna get him on. I'm gonna get Matt on the podcast, and these guys are like making fun of me, like I had an imaginary girlfriend or something. And so
Not
finally,
really
I was like,
that.
you don't know all these guys. I was like, you don't know all these guys, man. Quit BSing. You took a free
I'm telling
week
you,
trial, dude.
these guys are brutal, man. These
I was
guys
like,
keep
you took a free week trial
Yeah.
and somebody just shook your hand.
I went over to 2 classes and that was it. No, but then Matt came in and we were cracking up about this. He's like, "No, I'm real. I'm here." Like, yeah, I know Abel. We talk.
You do exist.
Yeah. Oh man, but you see? Yeah.
I was goofing on him because I was like, oh, now I know why you like Matt. He's a pretty boy, man. And I was like,
That's funny.
Everybody, we talk about Matt always like raising the average when he walks in the room. Like, thanks, Matt.
Yeah,
He raised the average on all of us.
that's so funny. We have our mats here, like Mr. Ryan, Mr. Alex. We like, hey, we got to put these guys on the website with like out their shirts, and then like our like subscriptions, our memberships would like skyrocket.
I was telling somebody was like, hey, how come you're never on the video? I was like, man, I know everything, but I don't look the best on camera. So I'm all right with that. It's cool.
I know the directions.
That's so funny. Oh man. Yeah, but like you surround yourself with people that keep you humble. Like, you take a beating every day, man, and it's just like, yeah, you keep it humble for sure, man.
I think that's something like me and Courtney talked about, especially going forward. Like, if we're gonna be working both these businesses, that we have to find, somebody that can work, whether submissions on the shore, just like maybe she won't want to go on every event, especially if we're traveling. Like next year, like 2021, we're gonna be like constantly on the road. So like January 30th, we're in Galveston.
You have two children.
2 little ones, yes.
What's their ages?
Aaron is my oldest. He will be 2 in February. And then Asaya is my youngest, and he'll be 1 in March.
Wow,
Both-
yeah, they're young.
Yeah,
man.
man. So I can totally relate to that.
Yeah.
Cute, man. They were on the mat, and your oldest, what's his name?
Aaron.
Aaron saw some gloves out there. He went and grabbed them. He's trying to put them on, and he puts one on, and it's like the opposite hand and stuff. But and he's like trying to punch stuff, and
That's
it's,
cool.
it's so awesome,
Those
man.
kids are gonna be brutal when they
Dude,
get
they're
older.
gonna be awesome.
They're gonna be mat.
Yep.
They're gonna be on the mat rats, dude.
Yep.
Or
Big
is
time.
it? Let's see.
That's awesome.
Here's-
I mean,
here's
listen,
a fun one.
if they
just for you
grow
guys.
up in his studio, in the martial arts studio, I mean, you can't go wrong, man.
Man, that's what I keep telling them. I was like, yeah, your little girl's got to be a beast by the
Yes.
time she gets out of here.
This is my oldest. Pushes,
Yeah.
pass.
Yes.
Right? He knows like.
Did you see that?
He adds in punches now too, but like it's like.
Dude, so he's taking your move right there. I saw that move that he did. Guys always try to sit out and pull guard on this guy, and this guy pushes. I haven't seen that. And so he's taking your move big time
Yes,
right
Hey, he's got better transitions than some of us here, man. Look at that.
That's why some of you don't practice your guard passing skills.
Yeah.
That's like his favorite thing to do. He knows when like to wrestle. And
That
stuff
is
like
so cool. Look how cute he is too, man.
He even looked
And you're
like
lucky.
he was going for the underhook.
Hey,
right
and you're
there.
lucky
He's like,
that both of your kids look like your wife.
that. Right? Thank you.
wow. Look at
That's
Wow.
it when like first event headphones. He went to like my
gorgeous.
first tournament like 3 weeks out of the womb. He's been to like 7 of my fight to win shows, so he's always.
That's
So
awesome.
you talk about your wife, Courtney.
Yes.
Does she grapple also?
She's tried twice, and when I say tried, she's committed twice, and then got pregnant. So, so
So wait, this is your fault, man.
This is
It's my
Something
way
turns you on, man. Something gets
to
you
keep her
going.
out of jiu-jitsu.
We got to keep her off the mats, otherwise we're gonna have like 15 of them running
Dude,
around.
that's good for his marriage.
Oh,
dude.
that's funny.
When you start losing, you're like, hey, honey,
Get on the mat.
Get on the mat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Start
next
training.
thing you know, you got another one coming. Damn. Dude.
Oh man, that's
the way to go
awesome.
right there.
That is so cool. That's so
Then-
cool.
So going back to where we were headed, January 30th. Right, January 30th. Because now she's gonna watch that and she's gonna like
that's
turn red.
awesome. Oh, that's cool.
Hi, Courtney.
January 30th we're in Galveston, and then February 7th is her birthday, so we're not going anywhere. But February 13th we're in Oregon.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Yeah,
And
you are
then
going
the
everywhere.
17th is his birthday, Aaron's birthday, but we're having a party for him on the 20th. And February 21st, we're in Huntington Beach.
Whoa!
Right.
Stomping grounds.
February 21st, we're in Huntington Beach.
You got to tell me where that's going to be at so that I stop by.
I'll make sure I'll post it, the
Right on.
registration link.
Nice.
Very
Send
cool.
it to you so you guys could enroll.
Oh yeah, and
Get
we'll
on.
keep everybody posted at home as to where that's going to happen. Very
and
cool.
then February 27th, we're back in Galveston. So
Dude, this is-
4 weeks,
Hey,
4 events.
so I knew I liked your wife's name, Courtney, because February 7th, I'm February 8th. So it's like Aquarius, I could tell.
Oh, I
right away.
forgot about this. So, baby Lucas, February 7th birthday.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember we talked
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah.
My boy.
Yeah.
He's going to be 2. Yeah, February 7th.
So he's a- yeah,
We're all going to have
that's
something to celebrate, man. That's awesome.
So, how did you decide that you're going to start moving around and taking this to other states?
I don't know if you decided. I think this is just growing. It's dynamic, right?
Yes, that was one of our goals. So where it started is I did a tournament myself. Right, this is I think before our first event in November, and I had just started the business in October. Our first event was in February, but I competed in Chicago, and I was already working on the Queen Mary like at the same time that I'm going to go compete, and we were at the Navy Pier. I was like, oh, wouldn't that be cool? Like.
Wait,
Queen
but was
Mary.
this was your show in
I was
Chicago?
just competing.
Oh, you were
I was
competing. Okay, got
competing.
it.
And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a show on the Navy Pier? I'm like, that's my goal. Like, I want to have a show
Dude,
here,
that would be
right?
sick.
That's so cool. That's cool.
That would be sick.
So then we just started hosting events, and then COVID happened, and obviously, but we're getting a lot of requests to travel. And right before, all the lockdowns, I went to the the Midway, and I was going to host an event on the Midway.
Oh, wow.
And that was Queen
Dude,
Mary, Midway.
You know where I see him? You know,
that would be
I will
so
go
sick.
and help him out anytime he wants. I'm a Hawaii guy, dude. I can see him in the naval bases over there off of Oahu. They have so much play area over there.
There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to pull that stuff off. Listen, I mean, you're a legit black belt. You're a competitor.
Brown belt, not black belt yet.
Oh, brown belt, not black belt yet. But with all this, with everything that you're building on, I mean, I don't see any stops for you, man. You know how to build the bridges. You're a person that's easy to talk to. I really hope for the best for you, man.
So he said something significant a minute ago. Is he also competes? So not only is he now transitioning to becoming an owner,
Yeah, dude,
he's a
has lot going on.
promoter, and you're still training. Oh man.
Yeah.
You have a lot going on, man, and he's got 2 little ones, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? You can't do all that without Courtney's support, with your
No,
wife's support.
definitely not.
People at home need to understand, because I've experienced this. There's no way that you can do what you love without that support at home.
Absolutely.
I will say this is probably not just his wife. He probably has a good structure that helps him because obviously everything's about your wife. Hey, I don't want to go there and create problems with
Courtney,
him.
I'm sorry. I was trying to give you the spotlight, but Gary over here is trying to take it from you.
But I'm just saying that.
No,
it
I'm sure
takes
all
a-
your boys too, man.
Yeah,
All,
yeah,
all
yeah.
the boys at 10th Planet and all that.
I'm looking forward to it, man. If you ever need help, just let me know. I'd love to help.
I'll make sure I keep you updated on February 21st since Huntington Beach.
Yeah. For sure, we got to go to that one. So February 21st, Huntington Beach. We'll be there.
Nice.
At the very least, cheering for you guys and for your competitors and supporting in any way that we can. You know what I mean? Yeah, very cool. So when's so you're moving out to Sacramento?
Mm-hmm.
Are you shopping around for a place yet, or that's going to be kind of after a couple things fall into place?
So I'm kind of doing two things: shopping balls for like the place of living and the place of training
You're
at
be,
the same
hey,
time.
you know what you got to do is find a place where you can live on top and then train in the
She
bottom.
doesn't like that idea. I keep saying that.
No, you know what? And she's smart. She's smart about that because you do need
You'll take it home.
you need to unplug, dude.
Yeah,
you
sorry.
do. Something we say here all the time is like, because it's so high energy, you need that opposite energy as well. You need that calm, that soothing energy as well. Because as positive as that energy is, it could be overwhelming,
Yes.
And
You can take it home. Like I've done it. I've got wrapped up to where I've just continually worked and not separated from work.
yeah.
It was just like constantly working.
So Courtney's keeping you healthy, man.
Yes.
Yeah. But so you got to find somewhere to live. You got to find somewhere to work, right? And on top of all this, you got those two little ones, and you're traveling like crazy. So
Yeah, definitely the grandparents are gonna come in handy this next month.
where are the grandparents? Are they here or are they back in
Her
Sacramento?
mom is here in SoCal. Her dad is in like Indio, and then my parents are in Sacramento. Like my whole family's in Sacramento. I'm the only one here, or the only one that's moved.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a brother, a younger brother, a half brother. He's in Sacramento as well.
Got it. Well, it is kind of cool that you have some support in Sacramento and some support here, because wherever you're at least you can feel that support for sure.
Absolutely.
You got to put your brother to work, man.
I'm gonna have to.
Some free labor.
That's what I feel like. Hey, bro.
Dude, I'm gonna buy you lunch. Don't worry.
Hey, listen, all these things start somewhere, right? Everybody just sees all the shiny stuff, right, at the end. Like 10 years from now, wherever you see your company at, right? But nobody sees all this like beginning stuff. How hard it is, man, and like what it takes. It takes a whole army.
Especially at the beginning, because and I'll be honest, our first event, it was really volunteer based. Like, hey,
You definitely got to do that.
yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, if I say I'm gonna do this and I can't do it, one, that just looks bad on me. So hey, I would appreciate it if you could help. I'll do what I can. And I'm pretty sure I paid most people, right? But now I pay all my help.
Yeah.
So hey, I'm
That's already a step forward.
yeah, I'm gonna pay you. If I'm not making, I'm gonna pay you.
Yeah.
You're gonna get paid. So I kind of know where. Even if it's a loss, it's okay because I know I'm paying you for your time. 'cause
Very
it's
cool.
making this happen. So probably not where we're at yet, but we'll be there.
You know what might be a good idea for you is getting one of those what are those vans that Jacko had?
Yeah.
There's
I forget what they're called.
Is a sports mobile, I think, or
Yeah.
something. Kind of like one of those sprinters. Have you seen those vans that have off road wheels and
It's almost like a camper / van.
yeah, man. But they're legit. They're super nice. They're not like the '70s ones.
It's not I'm imagining.
Wait, those are cool too.
That's what I'm
But
imagining right now. It's
no, it's
okay.
the ones that they use to overland, go all over the place, and that might be good for you since you're traveling so much, man.
Well, see, I think I know. When we go to Texas, I'm driving, right? The 20th, I fly, so I gotta fly from Sacramento, get here Tuesday, get picked up to go to get the U-Haul, go load up all my stage, and then drive to Texas.
Oh, it's insane, dude.
So, cause my stage is here, right?
Oh, that's right. So your whole setup, you're pulling it to wherever you go.
Yeah, so for this one, but I'm gonna leave my setup in Texas for a few months because that's where we're gonna be at for a few months. So I'm gonna go out there, store it out there.
Let's talk about the setup. So, what does it look like a day? Okay, so today's the event, and it's crack of dawn, right?
I should have been done last night.
Oh,
Something went wrong.
the event's not happening.
Yeah.
He's like, wait a minute, something went wrong if it's today.
If it's today, what's the setup? Oh man, I'm way behind. Man.
Oh, no event today.
Yeah, sorry guys.
So a day or two prior.
Yeah, so for what's been going on lately is we've had to do a lot of setup because we haven't had access to major venues. Now, when you get access to major venues, one, it does cost a lot, but there's a lot of setup help that you get from them, right? For example, when we go out to Galveston, I'll go set up my stage the night before. I don't have to worry about chairs, tables. I send them a layout, and they take care of all that, right? My production crew sets up their side, and we're done. But lately, I've had to rent tables and chairs. I've had to set them up. I've had to do,
I can imagine.
so everything is on me right now because I don't have that access to the bigger
Big venues,
bigger
yeah,
venues,
yeah.
right? Whether I had to get more lighting or more capable internet, like all that changes everything. So now that now that's one of the reasons we're going out to Texas, not back to Texas, going out to Texas because of their somewhat leniency, compared to California.
Yeah.
Right. So, and people have been asking for us to be on the road, right? And like we've had 11 shows here, and I've had like two to three competitors come from Canada. I've had multiple competitors from New York, multiple competitors from Texas, Arizona, Colorado, like from everywhere, Washington.
That's cool.
So like, okay, like there's a want or need for us, so let's go on the road. But setup wise, I have a 24 by 24 stage. Right, gotta load that up.
That's a big stage.
Got like 80 pieces of wood.
Yeah.
Gotta load that in there. Right.
And you gotta know how to put it together.
Yeah, gotta put it together.
remember how I go.
Yes. Yeah, I messed up last time. I assumed it went this way and like just started putting the bolts in. I was like, that's not how it goes.
Hey, so we've been looking for
since
we started this, we've been looking for a sponsorship, right? And at first we thought it'd be this company called Bubbly. We always drink this thing, Bubbly, and it's actually delicious. Like it's awesome. We love it.
They haven't showed us any love.
Yeah, they haven't showed us any love, but we still drink it. Go get some Bubbly. It's delicious. And then we're like, you know what, man? Like we were talking about the furniture we have here and stuff, and we're like, IKEA would be a good company to have. But then we're like, nah, man, like then we have to build everything and stuff. We got this contract from IKEA, but you know how to turn it down. This is the second time I turned them down, dude. So the reason why I say that is because I can imagine you building your whole stage and all that, dude. See, IKEA's going to reach out to you, but I wouldn't take it, man.
I wouldn't take that one.
Nope.
So,
one slam.
Yeah, so sorry, IKEA. I'm going to turn you down again.
Back in early 2000s, I was working for the city of Irvine, and I would actually do setup crew. And if anybody doesn't know why significant in Irvine for women's softball, they have the field there that is the United States softball programs field.
Oh, really?
One of them.
Where's
there's
this at?
one in Nebraska, and then there's one here, Irvine, city of Irvine. It's actually in the city of Irvine. And Irvine said, hey, yeah, well, you can do whatever. So sometimes when you see all these big events for women's softball, it's actually there, and they're filming it.
Very cool.
Yeah. But I used to have to do all that, set up chairs, and set up the announcer's booth. And oh, dude, it was a pain in the ass, dude. Because if you don't remember, like, this is left and this is right, you can set it up completely backwards.
It'd be cool to do an event there. They're already all set up with everything.
That's what I'm saying. They have, Irvine's probably the most, like, event-ready place to go, like, city-wise. I'm just throwing it out there. But I thought it was kind of cool. I was like, oh, hey, I kind of relate. I'm sorry.
Cool,
I went off on a tangent, dude.
You know what? On that note, we're going to take a little break, and then we'll be right back, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, refill some of these teas and coffees and stuff like that, and get some fresh air, and then we'll be right back. All right? Love you guys. See you in a minute.
Cool. What's up? We're back. So, I'm definitely going to I'm going to head over to 10th Planet. As soon as all this COVID stuff's over, I'm sure they want to grapple and do all that with their own guys. The only thing that keeps me out of it is I'm an old guy, dude. I got feet like a bear, dude.
Dude, you're not that old.
Gnarly. I got gnarly feet. Just, I'm scared. People are just going to be like, oh, nasty, dude.
Well, just cut your nails, dude. Wash your feet.
I do. Hey, man, it's just genetics, dude.
He has feet like, what are those called? What's that, Lord of the Rings? What are those little dudes? A hobbit? You got feet like a hobbit.
I'm just saying, man. That's
big old nails, all hairy.
Somebody's going to put like a lock on my foot and be like, what the fuck is that?
Just be safe and wear those little 5-toe.
Oh, yeah. What are those called? Those are the ones that Brett wears. Oh.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, dude. It's from being in work boots my whole life.
That's so funny.
So, what are the major things that we
Wait, so hold on a second. Hold on. You're trying to move on.
I am trying
That's your major holdup? Your feet? Your
Dude,
nails looking like
you know
like
me,
claws?
I got hang-ups, dude. And that's one of my hang-ups, dude. That's just one of my hang-ups. I could work. I have my wrestling shoes here and all that, but...
You can wear wrestling shoes there.
Oh, really?
We don't mind. As long as you keep them on the mat.
So Albert, just so you know, the reason why we started this podcast is because he needed some therapy, and it was too expensive. And so what I did is I put this together to make sure that he was healthy and he could have a place
vocalize
to... Yeah, And
kind of true. Kind of true. I'm kind of mouthy. I've always been that way, and it's like you sent me. I don't know what you sent me yesterday, saying that I had sometimes people who joke all the time or smart ass have like.
I didn't mean it towards
frontal
you.
lobe, issues.
No,
I think I might have had that happen to me.
What I sent him was there was this meme that said it's like one of those like facts kind of thing. Like it's a meme, but it gives you a fact every day. And the fact that I received yesterday was if you receive a frontal lobe injury, like a brain injury, when you're young, you could develop this thing where you just make jokes all the time. So
that's me pretty much, dude. Pretty much. Like I'm trying hard today because I don't know you that well, so I'm trying hard not to like. But
I sent it to him, but I sent it to him just to share a fact. I wasn't saying that was him, and he takes it like that was him.
I took it as he was trying to tell me something.
I just thought it was interesting.
He's full of shit. He says that all the time.
I know exactly why he said that.
Exactly. He's full of shit, man.
Oh, that's funny.
So, second part of the show. We always like to get in a little bit of like your background as a kid, mainly because we both started out where we had influences, and I'm sure you're influencing somebody right now. And being Latino, Hispanic, whatever you want to call us these days, from where you came from, Sacktown, right? I mean, what made you? What got you going? Like when you early on, were you bullied? Were you troubled? Or
were you causing the trouble?
Yeah.
I would say like looking back, a little bit of everything on both sides. I was fortunate, I was lucky. My parents were able to give me a lot of opportunities. My parents were also split, so I had a lot of like. Some people would say, I guess, parent issues from, parents being split. But at the same time, like, they both took care of me, right? Yeah. But, like, it could sometimes still pull you different ways.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
Either way. I went to private school. I was a private school boy my whole life. Where my dad lived at the same time, though, he lived in a rough neighborhood in Sacramento, probably one of the rougher neighborhoods. So, like, I grew up playing. I mean, I think a lot of kids my age and older always grew up playing in the streets anyways. But a lot of the kids I played with were, I would say, troublesome kids, like kind of that went down, the wrong path kind of thing. But I was fortunate to
I think similar for both of us.
Be pulled out of that, went to private school. Got picked on there, but not necessarily because like it was more so like I was athletic, I was little, but I got picked on too at the same time. But like at the same time, people respected me for my athleticism, but like picked on me. Like it was kind of weird.
Well, Gary understands because he's also little, and so
this dude, I'm being nice here. What's going on? I was a little dude.
The bear a little bit.
So you're a little dude. At least you're athletic. I was a little dude and I was round. I've always been round my whole life, man. And for me, I had to learn kind of to protect myself.
You should put some of your videos in the background so they're playing, man.
And but I think we different directions. I'm an Orange County kid, so growing up here is a little different than growing up where Abel did in LA County, and probably totally different from Sacramento. But when I do picture Sacramento, I picture cows and.
Why? I'm just like, why? Why cows?
I don't know. I picture like.
What did you do for fun in Sacramento? I mean, come on, man.
Cow tipping. I'm just playing.
For me, again, like I was, like I said, athletic.
Hey, be nice to our guests, man. Come on, man.
I like them. When
so
I
cow
like somebody,
tipping, cow tipping. That's when I was in like Plainview. Like, there's nothing out there. Like. When I went to Plainview and went back to Sacramento, like I thought Sacramento was huge.
Really?
Right. Because going from Plainview to Sacramento, it's huge. But then when I went from Plainview to SoCal, I was like, Sacramento's small. Right. So like I never really knew that Sacramento was small. I always thought it was big.
Yeah.
Like right. Yeah. But also because we're an hour and a half away from everything, San Francisco, Lake Tahoe, the snow, the mountains and things like that. But at the same time, I was athletic, so I demanded demanded attention in a way because I was like, hey, you want to come watch me play sports, right? Like whether it was family or not. So I was always doing something. I played tournament teams. I always found my way to like the higher level sports, right? All-star teams, things like that. I didn't start wrestling until high school.
Oh, wow.
Like sophomore year of high school. I saw wrestling my first year and I was like, yeah, you're wearing spandex. You're
Not gonna do that.
See,
not doing that.
That's the other thing that kept me out of wrestling.
Oh, come on, you look great. Hey, come on, you would look great in a leotard, dude.
I've worn them, man. I've worn them. It's not a leotard.
First time I put it on, right? I had shorts under because I was like, I'm not wearing this. Like I put shorts on underneath. I was like, this is so weird. So I wore shorts. I was like, I'm not about this. And then like, I think the only reason I stuck with wrestling is because like I won my first like 9 matches.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
So like,
Oh, so you're like, I'm good at this. I could.
yeah,
I like
exactly.
winning.
Yeah, like I had a successful season. You know, if it was any other way around, I probably would have like finished it. Like, probably not for me. But like, I was pretty good.
So in high school, this is a true story. I'm not gonna name names.
You probably shouldn't name names.
No, because the good dude was a fucking jerk. We're in. You know, you have to wrestle off for your spot. I was never that good. I was always the kid that like almost pin. Oh, never mind.
Were you the water boy?
Kind of, dude. Kind of. We had, and so Los Amigos High School.
The warm-up round.
In 89 through 90, we had 7 all-state guys. They all ended up running the church boys eventually here in Orange County, and then it became other things. Like they all branched off. Anyways, this one dude, not gonna name his name. To this day, I still do not like.
Is it still
the guy.
bothering you?
It still bothers me.
Wait, how old were you?
15.
See,
So
this is the kind
15, I had a lot of problems. 15. The dude goes and he teabags me, right?
Hold on a second. So you're holding a grudge since you were 15?
I'm not holding a grudge. I took care of that grudge. So
I just don't like him.
So guy teabagged me. Great wrestler.
What's teabagging? Just there's
He
people at
does
home.
north south.
People at home that don't know what that is.
So he spins over the top of me to where his nut sacks across my face.
Okay,
That's teabagging.
it happens, right?
Yeah. So this dude,
Unintentionally, right?
It does.
this dude's in a singlet and never wears any like a cup or anything. And these
Well,
things
to be fair, you're not supposed to wear a cup in wrestling.
yeah.
To be fair.
I know. But at this point, dude, and you feel somebody's just like come across you, right?
Now I know where most of your issues come from, dude. Dude, you're traumatized. You've never dealt with this.
So-
This is trauma.
So I get up, and he's doing it on purpose.
Oh, he did it on
He's
purpose?
locking me down because I'm just not that good, you know? I'm just not that good. I'm like a sophomore. He's like a senior, dude. and
Oh,
he's
that's
just
messed
picking
up.
on-
He was totally
he's picking
messing
on
with
me,
you.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, cut to 21. I'm at a bar.
Hey, Gary, hold on a second. Before you go there,
Yeah.
you have some trauma, dude. Do you realize that that's trauma? Somebody
So-
rubbing their
dude,
trunk all over your face?
I had a lot of that. So also there was a time in high school. My friend Orlando, he passed away. He was 2 years older than me, but I was a freshman on varsity baseball, so they would just pick on me, right? And I was like, damn. So one day we were out there and they were like, Gary, go get the ball. They waited for me to come back and they jumped me and took my pants off.
They did not take your pants off.
Yeah, and made me run through the fields chasing them with just my cup on. And oh, dude, that was. Rest in peace, Orlando. Though he was one of my good friends, but he was a jerk too at the same time, dude. Again, I was about 14, 15.
Hey, Gary, I didn't know about this trauma.
Yeah, 14, 15 was a rough year, man.
Did you like take wrestling after that incident? Or?
I did, and I did because I hung out with a lot of older guys, and they were all good wrestlers. So I was like, I'll go do it, you know.
All right, so
So you
teabagging.
joined the
Teabagged me, right?
You can't do anything about it. You're not
Nothing.
as
Getting
good
laughed at,
strong as him to
getting
do anything
laughed
about it.
at, doing it,
Oh,
yeah.
that's messed up, man.
21. I'm at this
So
place.
fast forward to 21.
Yeah. Kokomo's.
Grown man.
In Orange County.
You're a grown man now.
I'm a grown man. Right? I'm with some boys, and they all knew the problem. I'm still hanging with my high school friends, you know, at this point.
You're like Al Bundy.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. Those are my best years.
Yeah, best years. Yeah.
Sitting there, and who do I see is that dude at the bar, right?
Which is a little older than you now.
Yeah, a little bit older. Yeah. 2-3 years. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I'm sitting there and I'm stewing.
And you're in your prime.
Yes. And I'm stewing. I'm like, that's the motherfucker. Oh, man. Right? And I had the type of friends that are like, Gary, that's that dude that...
Oh, they're
Gary,
egging you on, poking the
just
bear.
egging me on, dude. Give me another drink. Give me another drink. Dude, we shut that place down. Me and him got in a big lockdown fight, dude. Oh, man. Yeah, I got banned from that place. I was never allowed back there.
Wait. So
I
what?
sucker punched him.
Did he know you were? Did you walk up to? He probably didn't
He
even know who
knew
you
I was
were.
there. He was trying to be like. It was like that thing I sent you with the Goodfellas where he's like, I'm not a shoe shine boy anymore.
I don't shine shoes anymore.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I was just like, these guys are just like. I said, screw this.
So you walked up to him?
Walked up to him, and he's still kind of like
mouthing off a little bit.
I just said, "Tatash," and it just became 5 of his friends and 5 of my friends. Just a knockout, just brawl, dude. Yeah. That's a true story. Who beat his ass, dude?
Oh man.
But that was where I got into trouble back then.
See, like gets all hyped up.
I know he's getting excited.
I had the little guy mentality. Don't get me wrong. I totally think I was an asshole.
For doing that?
Yeah, totally. I think I was totally. But now I'm almost 50, and I'm like, I was a jerk, dude. I had the little guy mentality. But growing up, I mean, were you a fighter? Were you into that stuff, or were you just an athlete?
I was an athlete, and like one thing I always tell people when I'm training, like, you know, I've been in over like 50, like between kickboxing, boxing, MMA, like well over 50 fights.
Yeah.
And maybe like 1 scuffle in my life.
Oh, really?
Outside of the cage, outside of the ring. Like, do I know how to fight? Yes. Can I protect myself? I would like to think so.
Yeah.
It comes down to it. I'm like, dude, you're bigger than me. Like, you'll beat me up. Just stop. Like, you know, I diffuse, like, try to diffuse any situation I can.
Well, here's what's funny is that, you know, before I trained, I used to get into a lot of stuff on the street. And
That's what's funny, right?
And since I started training, I've had to use it a couple times, but as a grown person, but it's been very far and few between. It's just like there's no need for it. Like if you find a way to not having to engage, it's like the best thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, using your brain.
Oh yeah.
But you still have to have that.
Fighting in the cage, the ring is totally different from what can happen fighting in the street. Right?
Yeah, the first time I sparred, it does humble you. Like when you find somebody, like when I was 14, I got my ass handed to me.
By that girl?
Yeah, but it humbled me, man. And she kicked many dudes' butts.
I'm sure.
And but it humbled me, you know. And then when I get into other sparring, do some other sparring, and I knew I could handle myself. But it definitely humbled me. I knew, dude, I'm not that good. I never knew. I could never be an MMA fighter because.
Hi, Mom. Mom was calling me.
Oh,
that's awesome.
That's funny.
So you said, did you go to Catholic school?
Yes.
Oh, so it was a private?
Yeah, private Catholic, and then I went to St. Patrick's, and I went to Christian Brothers, De La Salle school.
Yeah, I know where that's at.
And then I went to like junior college, so like my first public school, and then went right back to private college. So.
Oh, so you've had some good schooling.
He was in the hub of sports right there. If you're right there by De La Salle and all that area, you're in the hub of some serious
we're
sports.
just a De La Sallian school, so like De La Salles are like sister schools.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, they're not like we're Christian Brothers. So between us and Jesuit, Franciscans,
the different priests and fathers.
Those are the 2 like major high schools and.
But I know because they also had the best sports programs right over there.
So what do your parents say about like what you're doing with your life right now?
So at first, when I first started fighting, my mom just supports and like says she doesn't like it, but then supports. My dad was like, "Cut you off if you decide to fight," and I was like, "Well,
oh really?
I'm gonna fight."
Oh really?
See, and I would think that your dad would support something like that.
So and then after that, he went to every single fight, no matter where it was.
That's cool.
Where was that? So that was like the initial like conversation, you know. The initial.
He's like, no, I don't want you doing that.
Yeah, I don't want you doing that. Like, you've done too much to like go waste it on that. you know. And then he was like at my first pro fight. Like he traveled. He went to like Oklahoma, like Texas, Louisiana, like things like I fought all over the U.S. and
That's pretty
he
cool.
was
That is
like
cool.
every event after that. Like he enjoys it, you know. And then still enjoys it. He comes out to all the shows, you know.
Yeah, you know what? And people don't realize, like parents or new parents, don't realize like how much that affects your child. Like I remember playing soccer when I was younger, and I'd look like I was in the middle of the game, but I'd look at the sideline see if my dad was there, because I knew he'd be there. I just didn't know what time because he had to drive all the way from Santa Monica. That's where he worked. And, you know, traffic in Santa Monica. I mean, it's always been traffic, you know. And so, but he'd make it, and then as soon as I'd see him on the sideline, he still was like in his like chef suit. You know, he's an executive chef. He's still in his chef suit, pants, or maybe the top or whatever. But he was there, and it was awesome. Like I'll never forget that because that's a sacrifice that they make. You know what I mean?
Dude, my mom was hardcore. My mom was at everything any of us were in, my brothers or even my kids. And but she wasn't just like there. She was like became the president of the league, became the
so she got really involved.
She got like ultra involved. So in high school, or my son's high school freshman game, they had a really good team. We're at Los Alamitos High School, and 2 teams going for first place, you know, league champs. And my mom's screaming across the field to the other parents over there going, fuck you. My mom almost got in a fight with the lady over there. She ended up having to get kicked out and go sit in the car and watch the rest of the game. But that's where I get it from, is my mom. So, I mean, we all get it. He's just like his dad.
That's funny. And my mom used to always take us to, because we were in the swim team and the soccer team, and she would always take us. She would always take us and all that stuff.
Yeah, my mom, she still supports. She buys like the stream to watch the events, and like, I mean, I don't know to what extent. Like, she always watched wrestling, so she had an idea what wrestling was. But like Jiu-Jitsu, like there's no scoring system. So it's like, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm gonna buy it and watch it. Because I'm throwing the events, you know. Yeah. And I mean, she even came out to one of my tournaments. I had my son in February, and I competed in March. Like in March, and like took him there, and then she went and watched too, just because it was in San Jose. So like, she said, I'll go watch it. Or no, it was Elgrove. So she went and watched.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, still watching me. I'm like
32
years old and still.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter what age you are. If my mom
were still around, dude, she'd still be. She would have been here and like, hey, you know, this is cool. And yeah, she would have supported everything. That's a deep Latino tradition, Hispanic. We both have families that care deeply. It sounds like it, and that's kind of what I was going through because. One of the big things is I've always talked to him is I like to try to lead by example, especially when I hit a certain age for my boys. So now you have kids, and what do you think as a father is your number one like kind of thing that you want to instill in your kids?
Oh, that's a big question.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just like, hey, I'm going to do this or that.
Well, I think because, here...
Hey, it's okay to cry on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had those moments. We've had those moments where we're going to kill each other, too. But the reason why I bring that up is because everything you're doing, just like Abel was saying, kind of shapes your kids anyways. Mm-hmm. And I don't think... And sometimes when you're a younger dad, you don't see it until you become a little bit older. Mm-hmm. But... I know as a dad when I first, because I had my kids young, 17, 18. And so when I'm going through it, I'm like buddy with my boys. But then at a certain point, it's like, whoa, I had to become the dad, you know? Mm-hmm. And that was a tough decision when you start to break
switch roles a little bit.
Yeah. That was hard. It was hard for my older boy, too, when I had to finally, like, put my foot down and say no. Big difference. But what do you see yourself as a dad wanting to instill in your kids?
I think right now, like I'm still like at that fun part, right? But like
rightfully so. Those are good ages. Those are good ages. Those are fun ages.
I just get to have fun with them. But I think one of the biggest things going like based off from like what I experienced is like it's gonna just be biggest thing is support, like just and not to. Like, my dad supports me in whatever I want to do, but there's certain things initially, like, he would be like, you know, you're crazy. What's wrong with you? We're not doing that. I'm like, whoa. Like, yeah, we're not. I am.
Yeah.
You know? And I want to be able to be open to whatever my son suggests and not just shut him down.
Sure.
You know, like, and be like, hey, like, that's cool. Like, support that. Like, I don't ever want to completely just like shut him out or anything, I think. And
so important though. So important.
And that's easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because it sounds like an easy thing to do while you say it.
But there's going to be...
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. My older boy, athlete, made me, I was like, your dad probably. Let's go. What do you want to do? What you want gear? I'll figure a way to get gear. What? Yeah. Because I was into it, right? My younger boy wanted nothing to do with any kind of sports. Literally put me in like this place where I was like, I don't know how to be a dad. Like literally, like I had to like re-engage myself. But he was into like nerdy stuff and got me to go to like my inner kid and go, oh yeah, I wasn't allowed to kind of be that way, you know. I wasn't allowed to want to like read comic books and but then all of a sudden I found out when he was probably about 13, I had to restructure my mind and be more supportive, almost learn again how to be a dad, and almost like because you see me, I get active and so my older boy, I could be like, you need to get in your room, yell at him. Younger boy, I raised my voice like that much, in tears. I'm gonna call the police. Yeah, you're gonna hit me.
I'm gonna call the police.
Yeah, and you'll see with your kids, they just are different, and you have to learn how to roll with the punches and change your style every once in a while, you know. And that's a hard thing. I'm the old goat now, like trying to figure it out still. But I see you young guys with kids, and I'm like, man, if I could go back, I would kind of instill this a little bit more, do this. I think you guys as business owners have no clue what you're doing for your kids right now. I think your kids are going to appreciate how hard you work, and it'll see it, and it'll give them some freedom. I was always a worker bee because my parents were always worker bees, man. They're always worked for somebody else, and you guys are going to make it happen for your kids, and those guys are going to, then you're going to be like, why didn't I do that? And your kid's going to like...
Thanks for saying that. I'll knock on wood on that.
Exactly. Like, I think one of the biggest things from what I do now and like what my dad did, my dad's always worked for himself, you know, his own investor, whether like properties or just did his own work on his own terms. And I think let's
get you a little closer to the mic.
That's kept me away from the 8 to 5.
Got it. Oh, because you saw that your dad was
what type of freedom? Like, hey,
he wasn't checking in, checking out every day.
Like, hey, you want to come here when I compete? Yeah, I'll be there. Like, okay, it's in Louisiana. Like, 2 weeks.
I'm there.
Yeah, I'll be there. Like, okay, you know.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
But that's the freedom, right?
That's the freedom, and I think like that's what I'm trying to do now. Even though like opening a gym, I know that's going to require time. That's like you have to be there when you open a gym. Like you can't just like up and leave. But at the same,
but you said build a team.
Yes, exactly, right. But
that's the key.
Build a team, right? But team doesn't happen on day one. Nope. I'm assuming, right? So, but also something that I didn't learn I didn't probably just understand as a kid, and I went to school for and learned, but didn't adapt it till like later in life, like recently. But just investing in like the power, like using your money to make money, and like I want to teach that to my kids too.
Oh, this is true. Important. You know what? I've actually seen some of your posts. Yeah. Some stock trading and stuff like that.
Like crazy. Like just the amount of like, yes, this past year I've made a commitment to like really just investing, and like my kids have stocks too. Like I'm already investing for them, you know, as well.
So that's a real thing, though. That's a real thing, because growing up, my parents were bad with money, which made me really bad with money. You know, I was bad. And I think that's a positive thing. Anytime you can know how to use your money and use it for you, not for things.
But you're like on top of this, though, because it's like everyday thing, right? Like you're always on top of it.
Every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, every morning.
That's good.
So how did you get into that?
Well, I've always been in it, but I think one of the things I was looking for was like a mentor to like to converse, like, hey, like, not necessarily like, yeah, you're doing this right or you're doing this wrong, but like, hey, what are we doing, right? And I didn't have that, but lockdown happened, and like, you know, I've seen a lot of things where people are getting this money, these stimulus checks, but then just spending it. Like, dude, you just got free money to like
Do something with it.
do something with
Play
it.
with it.
What
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
What are you
Go
what are you
build
doing
something.
with it? But people are like, man, I'm out of that money. Like, why? Like, what did you do?
We talked about this like the last episode. We said we've become just consumers. We don't build anything anymore.
Exactly. Like, why are you spending this so freely and not like mindfully to where like, hey, how can I use this money that I was just giving to give me something back?
Yeah.
Right? Not get like, yeah, it's to pump money in
The
the economy, but still, like, dude, like, if I would say,
but what you're doing pumps money into the economy. So you're using funds,
yes,
and you're, you know, whether it's day trading or whether it's submissions on the shore or whether it's opening your business in the Jiu-Jitsu school or academy, all that also provides jobs. It provides movement, right? It builds bridges for more business, right? So I think fabulous what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, you
And
are stimulating the economy.
and it doesn't have to be just like in stocks. This could be in anything. When I say stocks, that's why I started changing my vocabulary, like investing, right? Like, investing doesn't have to be in stocks. It could be a variety of things. Like, you're investing in something that gives you a return. So if you just got all that money and it's gone, and then you're hoping for the next stimulus check,
Oh, jeez.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. No, I totally get that. As my parents were young parents, that's what they did, man. They get money and be like, let's buy a boat. What? Okay, let's buy a boat, dude. Let's do it.
Yeah,
So
like-
then, as I was getting into like in my 20s, I was like, let me buy that motorcycle, you know, and then use it once and then be like,
Don't use it anymore.
don't
Same thing with
use
the
it.
boat.
Yeah,
right?
same thing. Boats are.
They say that
money pit,
was it
dude.
buying a boat is like the day that you get is, what is it? The happiest day is the day that you buy it and then the day that you sell it. So,
It's true, man. I've seen that happen with a lot of people. Yeah, you gotta have money to own a boat, and it doesn't matter if it's a little dinghy or a big boat. You gotta have
yeah,
money.
and you know, going back to what we were saying is like we're doing what we love, right? We're investing and I don't think that the final thing is like numbers based. I really think that it's freedom based. Like, how much freedom do you want doing what you love to do? And that's how I look at it, right? I need to be able to pay my team, and hopefully we continue growing so that I continue paying them more, right? And so that continues to fund what I love to do. And it's just this cycle where we continue to grow, they get paid more, I continue to do more things I love, right? And we hope that we can sustain that. And so far, so good. But the freedom, it's priceless. The freedom to, like you said, we spend a lot of time here at this studio, but it's something I love to do. And I do have freedom to do a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Because that team is built.
You know what's really cool for both of you guys is you got young kids, man. So one day they're gonna be your instructors. One day they're gonna be running your school while you're off, you know, promoting a big events. And one day, you know, you'll have you and your wife be able to go on vacation and leave that up to your kids and say, hey, take care of it, and then come back and go, you should have done this.
like, why didn't you do this? I told you.
That's why. That's cool. Man.
Dad, I got a vision, you know, type of thing. I get that all the time. Dad, you don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
So anything you'd like to say to, first off, we'll take this, it's going to be like a 3-part thing, right? So first off, anything you'd like to say to your team at 10th Planet Orange County, any of your boys that you're kind of breaking away from temporarily to go on an adventure, anything you want to say to them as you get prepared to go on this adventure?
No, absolutely. When I came here, I was gym hopping, right? So I got to find the right spot. And I met Ron Turner. So in his just personality, attitude, energy kept me with 10th Planet.
That
so
guy's cool, man.
Thank you, Ron. Right. And that just segue into like the growth. Like I've been to a variety of gyms, not even just like our Orange County gyms, but the whole network from 10th Planet. I've been able to travel like and just walk into a school and just communicating like contact with people. And that's just an awesome network to be a part of.
You're never
right?
alone.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I go somewhere and I'm going to be able to train. And that's it. One thing about 10 Planet, I think what I really enjoy is they're open to other schools. It's not like, hey, our school or nothing, right? So like we get to really just interact with a variety of different schools and members. So like, and then just the awesome training partners. I got to jump around Costa Mesa, Orange, Fullerton, Irvine, and the students. And then just awesome to be around with. So I appreciate the time that they helped me, because I competed a lot, right? So like I got to like, some I gave a beating and some gave me a beating back. It was like give and take. So, they helped me push, and allowing them to be there to learn and ask questions allows me to take that and to open up my own school to like take that same energy to a different school, right?
Very cool.
And grow. So thank you guys.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to say to your parents? I know that they see that you're going on an adventure and you have a lot of moving parts. Anything you'd like to tell them?
Yes. Be okay with me doing all traveling during COVID, Mom.
I'll be careful. I'll be really safe.
Careful.
Right?
I'm kidding. No, but in all honesty, again,
it's true, man.
It is.
Not so much. He's not kidding.
No, I mean, hey, listen. Parents think about that stuff, and they're like, dude,
and they do. Like, and it's
like we want you to do business, but we want you to be safe, right?
Yes. So I do get to talk, and I'll be honest. Like, I'm more on the free side, but I understand there's implications not just to me,
right?
And like I have to take a step back sometimes and like pay attention to that. Like, it's not just me, right? I assume it's just me and my kids, and I'm okay with it, but it's not, right? Like, especially if they're watching my kids, their grandkids. But like, thank you for allowing me to do this and not, forcing me to go down a different road that maybe they weren't okay with or whatnot. So,
yeah, because ultimately they had an open mind and they're still supporting you through it, even if in the beginning it wasn't like that, right?
Yeah, like how many people want their kids to be like a MMA fighter, or jiu-jitsu junkie, or martial artist, right? Like you see that and you're like, what are you gonna do with that? Right?
Yeah.
I think parents in general, and I think as your kids will find their passions. When you see your kid passionate on something, you support it. Mm-hmm. I think, like, for the most part, unless somebody's a real asshole of a parent out there, but
there's some.
There is, for sure, but I think if you really love your kids and you start seeing passion, you cultivate it. I think somebody's done that with you. Mm-hmm. This is pretty obvious, and I think it's a good thing. It's a great thing, actually.
And then also for your partner in crime, for Courtney, anything you'd like to tell her?
Yes, thank you for being in, for like, just in general, like you get into a relationship with anybody who's involved with the MMA industry, like it's not fun. Like, I told her that right from being like, hey, it's gonna suck. Like if you're like with me, like I'm training, like you gotta be realistic with them, especially like if I'm at the time when I was pursuing fighting, like you're not gonna get the time that you want or that you think, especially during like camps, and that's hard.
Well, because there's another thing pulling you, right?
Yeah.
And it's actually like for your safety. You need to be focused for your safety on your skills, right? On honing your skills.
Mm-hmm. And that's hard for people. Like that's what dating fighters
imagine.
Is like hard for like whether guys or girls. Like I imagine, like it creates a lot of problems, and it has like and I warned her, but at the same time, like I can't just be like, hey, I warned you. Like you get it or don't, right? Like
you got to do your part too.
Yeah, I got to do my part too, right? And like understanding that like this is a lot of work, like, and to even consider like. She had a normal 8 to 5 work to UFC, but like to go from that to like, hey, we're investing a lot of money to this that like from our own money that you're not sure we're gonna get back.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, it's a gamble. It's a risk.
That's a risk. That's a gamble, right? But like at the same time, like we're making an impact on the community, right? And you get to be we get to be part of that. So that's awesome. So thank you for doing that.
And for your future, I'll be honest with you. I see a lot of potential in this submissions on the shore. Mm-hmm. A lot of potential. We're always trying to build bridges, and I obviously want to build bridges with people that have a future. There's a reason why we sat down together and we talked and stuff. Especially when you get to start in the beginning, like when there's a company that's taking off, right? And you see this potential, you want to be around to be supportive, because ultimately, if you do well, the people that you build bridges with will also do well, mm-hmm. right? There's always going to be an opportunity for someone that's helped you out along the way. So I really do see a lot of potential, and I really hope that my team here at Black Belt Collective is able to support you in any way. Yeah, for sure. And then lastly, for all your fans of Submissions on the Shore, anything you'd like to tell them?
Yeah. One, thank you for supporting, because without you, obviously, we don't have a show.
Especially
right?
through these crazy times, right?
Especially through these crazy times. Competitors, thank you for making the commitment to compete on our shows. Like, that's a lot, right? Especially, again, there's not much going on, but for them to travel from across the country to be on our show, like, amazing, right? So thank you. That's huge. We want to be able to have shows without your commitment to competing for us, for you to show your skills, right, for others to watch. So thank you. For the other viewers at home, people looking for us to compete with us in the future, you can find information on our website, right, subsontheshore.com, apply, and then we're going to be using Smooth Comp for our tournament series. So that's where our registrations will be.
What's this, an app or?
Online Smooth Comp.
Okay.
So it's for all like Jiu Jitsu competitions. You'll be able to find those there.
Very cool.
And I'll be posting, so you guys are going to see a lot of posts coming out of us, like, constantly about the up-to-date tournaments. So we'll be on that.
Right on. And you got big things coming. We touched upon. We can't talk about them now, but you got big things coming. So everybody that's interested in Submissions on the Shore, yeah, keep an eye out, keep an ear out, because I predict that you guys are going to be doing really big things. And as soon as this clears up with the COVID stuff, if you're doing good now, just imagine what you can do with just a clear, no obstacles coming from the government and from local and state. You know what I mean? And I say it seriously because I mean we feel them too here running the business here. We feel them, and
absolutely,
because we have to abide by these guidelines. And it obviously slows business down. I understand why we're doing it, and I get it, and we're behind it. But I can't wait till this stuff blows over, because we just get back to it, and and the amount, like, we work 3 times harder just to get the same result now. So imagine working 3 times, just getting used to working 3 times harder and getting bigger results. That's going to be fantastic.
And there's going to be a lot of things that you've learned during this lockdown that are going to progress our business during regular time.
One of those things that we definitely learned and that I've highlighted is that building bridges just opens doors, man, like you wouldn't believe. So I'm thankful to have you here today. Thank you for spending the time. You have a lot on your plate, dude, and you made time for us. I'm really grateful for that, and I don't forget. So anything that we can do for you, we're absolutely going to have our doors open for you and your team. Mr. Gary?
100%, man. We're trying to build this, and I'm the same way. You need anything, just give us a call. Give me a call. I'm lending a hand. No problem, man. I'm excited for you. I see big things. I didn't know much about you until he told me, hey, I got Albert coming in. I was like, all right, well, okay, yeah. And then, yeah. No, but then I started going through Submissions on the Shore and saying, dude, I'm really excited for you. And when I get excited, I can tell something's going to grow, because it's like, oh, wow, man, that's a cool concept. And I think you're doing a great job. So,
yeah, absolutely. And we can't wait to get more details when you open up your academy over there in Sacramento. That's going to be exciting, man. We'll get you to come back.
That soon as well. So
very cool. So you see what I'm saying, man? Yeah. We're on the cuff of all this.
We're going to have to go to Sacramento and roll.
We're going to have to. You're going to have to invite us over, and we'll take a little caravan out there.
Anytime you're coming back.
Yeah, man. And it's I understand what you're going through. Like Gary said, we're trying to grow the podcast. We're trying to grow a business over here on the martial arts side of things. Black Belt Collective, Krav Maga. We teach self-defense. And it's a constant thing, right? It's a constant job that we have, is to spread the word. Look, there's magnificent people doing great things in the community, and we're part of that community, And so we're very proud that you're about to embark in that. It's a lot of work, but you do have a good team surrounding you, so you're going to do fantastic things. Yeah.
Exciting.
Guys, make sure that you guys check all the information below this video so that you can see how you can get more information on Submissions on the Shore. Mr. Gary, how do we find you?
I'm on GaryH72 on Instagram, or you can find us at the Gary and Abel podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Looking for any kind of bubblies out there who want to put their name up.
Yeah, man, of course. We're always looking for people to support what we're doing, right? We're on YouTube as Black Belt Collective. We have a bunch of podcasts there and stuff, fun stuff for you guys to click on. How do we find you?
My personal Instagram is Albert Tapia Jr., But the Instagram that we're talking about is Submissions on the Shore on Instagram. So definitely look that up. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube, all under the same name, Submissions on the Shore. And yeah, that's about it.
Thank you guys at home, man. You guys listening to a bunch of knuckleheads trying to do good things in the community, and we don't forget that. We understand the support that you guys give us, and we're very thankful for it. We're gonna make sure that we do good things with it.
For
Love you
sure.
guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Peace.